Hello, everyone. The Worm here, back with some more 999. Today, we are back after finishing a story, essentially, the rest of a story, specifically, seventh story. And he had apparently got back all of his memory, and thus he was able to tell the rest of the story. I'll be curious to know if he actually, if he said all his memory. So does that mean he knows how he lost his memory in the first place, or what was that whole situation? But anyway, I guess we'll find out. The story he told us was a lot of what we'd heard in the Yellow Submarine ending here. But then I was able to actually continue, and we got to see young Santa, Snake, and Connie. And I think maybe Nona's kid. But in any case, we saw them. We got to see the deranged Ace, which, I guess it's not just the situation where, like in this path here, he gets discovered and then just becomes psychopathic. I guess he was just always a crazy psychopath. He was totally excited to see some kids die. It was funny to watch. He was so upset when Seven came down and ruined his fun. It's just, I still don't even know exactly how to think about that. In any case, they tried to escape. Connie got caught by Ace after she was too slow to keep up with the rest of them, and was hauled into the incinerator and presumably incinerated. But of course, we know that Connie is around right now, so we still haven't been told, is this Akane the real one or the fake one? I'm leaning towards real, but that raises quite a lot of questions, so we're just going to have to see how that plays out. But it definitely makes sense now that, it could be a thing where it's the Zero is two people and it's a brother and sister combo who's doing it. Yeah. Okay. We, unfortunately, were not able to find Alice. She was not in her coffin. Don't know where she is. I wouldn't be surprised if we never actually see her. So, I guess, well, yeah. Because that was just kind of a side thing to explain some of the concept the game was doing. In any case, let's just get back to it. This was kind of a meandering opening here. I just need to get back to it. Okay, it was silent. All they could hear was the creaking of the boat as it shifted in the water. They waited and waited, but Seven didn't continue.
What happened then?
Jinbei couldn't wait any longer. He had to know. Seven looked at the floor.
Come on, man. Put yourself in my shoes. It doesn't end good. You think I want to remember that?
Then...
Yeah. Shit. If I'd known it was gonna be like this, I almost wish I hadn't remembered.
Seven shook his head. But there was something Junpei had to know.
Hey, are you sure?
Huh?
Look, I don't want to ask this either, but there's something I don't get. So if you could just tell me, did that girl, Akane, really...
Seven stared straight ahead at nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure. There wasn't anything we could do. After a while, the countdown ended, and we heard something... burning. The fire stopped, but we still didn't move. Me and the jacket kid were frozen. The boy in the uniform collapsed as if he couldn't hold himself up anymore. A few minutes passed. The door opened. The boy in the uniform tripped over his own feet running in. We followed, too numb to speak. The air in the incinerator was hot. Every breath made my lungs feel like they were on fire. It was like standing on hot asphalt. The air was wavering, and in the middle of the room, there it lay. The kid's legs were shaking so bad, I don't know how he managed to walk. I couldn't see his face, but his body somehow looked empty. Finally, he reached it. He fell to his knees as his legs gave out on him. And then...
Junpei felt a cold lump form in the pit of his stomach. A feeling of sickening anticipation washed over him. He could feel his body shivering. He desperately did not want to know the answer he feared he knew already, but he had to ask. He had to know for sure.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What's that?
The girl, Akane. What was her last name?
What does it matter to you?
Just tell me, okay? Please?
Seven looked at Junpei curiously and ran his tongue quickly over his dry lips.
Kurashiki.
Ayy. There it is.
Her name was Akane Kurashiki.
Something inside of Junpei stopped. He had no more words left. He had no more Junpei left. He was just a shell of flesh and bone. So what is it? A different body, or what? What could it have been? Either the girl is the real Akane or she's not. If she's the real Akane, then that couldn't have been Akane, who was, you know, the whatever the remains they found in there. If it's not an Akane, then it's an impersonator of some sort. And that's a whole, where did she come from? Why does she think she is who she is? Or is it a deception? Does she know she's not Akane and is just deceiving us? But I don't know. Seven turned to Snake.
You were there that day, weren't you? The tall kid in the jacket. That was you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. You are correct, Detective.
Junpei's mind was blank, withdrawn from the world. Somewhere far away, he could hear Seven and Snake talking.
Don't misunderstand me. I told you before how Zero threatened me. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't say anything about what happened 9 years ago.
So you're saying you're not working for Zero, right?
Of course not.
Clover, what about you?
Hey, come on! You really think I'm working with Zero? I told you before, you idiot! I was in Nevada, in Building Q. I did hear that a detective rescued the kids on the boat, but I didn't know it was you.
Her surprise seemed to be genuine. Seven regarded Clover for a moment and rubbed his chin thoughtfully.
Well, I guess I believe you.
Clover nodded.
All right, let me ask you another question.
He stuck his hands into his pockets and took a few steps. Then he stopped and turned to face them again.
Santa's real name is Aoi Kurashiki.
Yes. I don't know if that was confirmed before, but I'm pretty sure we knew that. Yeah.
He's Akane's brother. You know that?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Well, yes. I know Aoi Kurashiki was her brother. But I didn't know he was Santa. At least not from the beginning. 9 years ago, he was in the middle of puberty.
Yes.
His voice is entirely different now.
And you could say, you could give a similar excuse for Akane,
I'm
yes.
ashamed to say that even my exceptional hearing wasn't able to make that connection. As such, I had no reason to think Santa was Aoi.
When did you figure it out?
Clover told me that Santa might have been one of the subjects of the initial experiment. It was only a short while ago, while we were leaving the library. When she told me that, I had a feeling.
Santa is Aoi? Akane Kurashiki, June's brother?
That spark caught flame in Junpei's leaden mind, and the fog began to clear. Like an engine beginning to turn, images and thoughts began to coalesce in his mind, coming faster and faster, forming bigger and bigger thoughts. Bigger images, bigger thoughts. Junpei blinked. He was back.
There's still a lot we don't know. I mean, like, a lot.
Are you gonna tell them, Junpei?
But there is one thing I think we can say we know.
What's that?
The body we found in the shower room. It had to be Nijisaki, dressed up to look like Snake.
What?
Come on, man, what kind of detective are you? You didn't figure that out already?
Hey, go easy on me, man. I just got my memory back, all right? Cut me some slack.
Okay.
Well, if he is, the 3 murders make sense then, don't they? Yeah, that's right. Murder. Kubota blew himself up, but that was murder too. So why did these murders take place?
If Junpei is correct, and the body in the shower room was Nijisaki, that means all of the people who were murdered were involved with the creation of the Nonary Project. Kubota, the person who conducted the actual experiments. Nijisaki, Hongo's assistant. Musashido, the man who financed the project.
You mean this was all just revenge?
Yes.
Santa is Zero. He's getting revenge for the death of his sister. That's why he killed them.
No, I don't think Santa actually murdered anyone.
In fact, Junpei didn't think, he knew. He couldn't explain why or how, but he had no doubt that Santa had killed no one. Perhaps the madness of the last several hours was finally driving him insane, but Junpei had ceased to be surprised at this sudden knowledge, and had even begun to accept
If
it.
I'm right, then it's not hard to figure out who the next victim's gonna be, is it? I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Snake, Clover, and Seven all nodded.
The next target will be Gentaro Hongo.
The person who planned the Nonary Project.
In other words, Ace.
There was a moment of silence.
What?
Uh-oh. You know, I was just about to say, it's been when we exited the captain's quarters and met on this path we're on now, when we left the captain's quarters and met with everyone, I think we said we had about 90 minutes left. I think they said that. So I mean, we've done 2 escape rooms, you know, for however long it took me to solve it. I'm assuming the characters in universe, it probably didn't take them as long as it would take me, I guess, is the assumption we're meant to make. But I was about to say, like, how much time is actually left? It looks like we're out of it. And then the room shook. From far away, they heard the sudden rush of water.
Whoa, what the hell's going on here?
It must be 6 a.m. Our time is up.
Shit!
Come on, we need to get out of here.
How?
In the drawer that had held the picture was a keycard. Junpei grabbed it.
I'm betting this sucker opens the exit. Come on, let's go.
Oh, we're not even done? Oh, I thought we were done with the thingamajig. Let's go. Let's get on out of here. Nah, but it's last time I was overtime, so it was good that I stopped. Ooh, I got an achievement. What's the achievement? Gained all memories of escape. What, I guess just all the endings eventually? But I don't feel like I'm done yet. The door opened and they stumbled into the library.
Huh. I think the shaking stopped.
It would seem so, but we are yet to be out of danger.
You're right. Let's hurry.
They ran across the hallway.
This exit needs the Uranus card, too.
Straight for the large metal door. Next to the door was a Uranus card reader.
Hey, Junpei.
Yeah, I know.
They slid the keycard through and the door rumbled open.
All right, it's open. Let's go.
Out of the library and into the hallway they ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. Junpei reached into his pocket to pull out the key as he ran toward it.
Okay, Neptune Key, let's see if you work.
He turned it.
Yes! I think it unlocked.
The lock clicked. As one, they shoved the door open and poured through it. Hey, we're back. In front of them was another great metal door. Above it was a metal plaque.
It says incinerator. So this is the incinerator.
This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah, I think so.
Then there ought to be a lever near the door.
Yeah, right here.
Junpei ran up to it.
Pull that and the door should open.
Got it.
As he spoke, he pulled the lever. The motor in the door groaned as it slowly ground open. There was no time to waste.
Let's go.
As soon as the door had opened far enough to admit them, all four dashed through. Then suddenly, there before them were the four who they'd parted from earlier. Really? Ace and Lotus stood in front of the number 9 door. Santa was curled into a ball against the wall with the incinerator holding his stomach. Ooh, so I guess Ace made his move. And then there was June. She sat slumped against the wall, exhausted.
What the hell is going on?
Junpei ran toward June. He skidded to a stop in front of her and knelt down.
What's wrong?
Sorry, I accidentally clicked too quickly. He said, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" Her face was pale and her lips dry. When she spoke, he could barely hear her.
Jumpy, you came to get me.
Of course I did. I made a promise.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
She mumbled the same words over and over, weakly. Junpei could feel her heart breaking.
Hey,
His heart breaking.
what happened to you?
Excuse me.
I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very good. I'm feeling a lot better now, though.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine. You shouldn't worry about me.
She was looking toward Santa. Junpei turned to look as well.
Santa.
Santa grimaced, his face contorted in pain. Seven grabbed him by the collar and roared at him.
Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere?
Well, where's Ace and Lotus? Look at them. Despite himself, a grunt of pain escaped Santa's lips, and Seven shook him.
I don't have it. I got sucker punched, and they took the gun.
What? Who?
What? Isn't that obvious?
I took the gun.
Wow.
Ace.
We're right back where we were, huh? He did indeed have the revolver in his hand. It was pressed against Lotus's temple. Yeah, we're doing this song and dance again. Ace had her pinned to him with the other arm, and she was shaking visibly. I feel like we should have seen this very quickly, like as we entered. Her fiery attitude was gone, replaced by fear. She didn't dare speak. There was sweat on her forehead, and when her eyes weren't flicking up to the gun pressed against her, they seemed to desperately want to say something.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I ought to say Gentaro Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals?
Seven's deep baritone rumble shook the walls. Ace sneered.
You have me at a disadvantage, and I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you. Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain?
The pain of prosopagnosia, right?
We're just throwing it all in here now. Junpei's voice was casual. Or at least it was trying to be.
Another irritating insect. And how do you know that?
Good question.
Junpei couldn't say. He just knew. Another unexplainable mystery.
No matter. If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me. This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go.
Behind Ace, Junpei could see the red. It was placed in the small indentation on the wall. Quickly, Ace placed his hand onto the scanner.
First is 1. Give me your hand.
It beeped, and he forced Lotus's hand onto it as well.
8. And with this,
And at last, he reached into the pocket of his jacket. He pulled something out and pressed it against the panel. The third asterisk appeared on the red.
9.
The thing he had used for the final verification was the bracelet with the number 9.
The ninth man. Kubota's bracelet.
1 plus 8 plus 9 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
I believe I've won this game.
His smirk made Junpei's blood boil.
I've had quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, what? Ace doesn't know who Zero is.
Junpei's eyes flicked toward Santa. He hadn't moved since they'd entered the room. Santa was still holding his stomach and groaning as if in immense pain. Junpei wasn't sure if it was real pain, but he wasn't sure it wasn't either.
What the hell are you planning, Santa?
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape, and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending. I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye. Wait!
Ace, of course, paid no heed to Seven's request, and laid hold of the lever on the red. With a sickening sense of finality, he pulled it. Yeah. Because the ninth man's bracelet isn't 9. Is it 6 or 3? Which...
What? Why isn't it opening? One more time.
Lotus tried to take advantage of Ace's confusion and managed to twist herself out of his grasp, but... At the last second, he grabbed hold of her wrist and shoved it onto the red.
Now open!
He waved the number 9 bracelet over the red, and then his own bracelet as well. He pulled the lever a second time.
No! What is this? Why?
Yeah, because so this is what Junpei was talking about, and then I elaborated a bit after. This was what, 2 episodes ago, 2 or 3, where basically if Cap's bracelet, oh, what was it? I wrote it down. Hang on. Cap's bracelet was 6. June's bracelet was a 9. Santa's was 0. So is the ninth man's 3 then? Ninth man's is 3? At least I think. So 3, yeah.
That digital root should be 9! It has to be 9!
That's pretty cheap, you know? Making the numbers that are on the bracelet, you know, just not be what they actually are. It's quite something. I guess it was the final Zero's final insurance, I guess, to just, you know, have the numbers not be what they say they are.
Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Because Ace, your digital root is 3, not 9. Ace's fury and confusion had overridden all other thoughts. He had set down the revolver. It was just below the red.
Now!
Sever chose that moment to act. He moved far faster than a man of his bulk should have been able to, and he launched that bulk straight at Ace. Okay, this is all well and good. Totally cool on taking down Ace. What I'm worried about is, you know, the incinerator activating again. Although, we do have every bracelet here, don't we? So we should actually all be able to make it. Unless, how does it work? It gets, unless it gets, it depends how long it takes for one team to get through the door. Because, you know, it says vacant and occupied. So it depends on, you know, how quickly one team gets through. And then the other team could get through. So hopefully that will be the case. It was over before they knew it. In the blink of an eye, Ace was on the floor. He rolled onto his side, groaning in pain. Lotus ran straight for Junpei. She darted around behind him and stuck her head out, making sure to keep Junpei between herself and Ace.
Oh, that was close. Too close. Thank you, Seven.
Yeah, I'm glad Lotus is all right. She's had very bad luck across basically all the routes. She gets killed or kidnapped or something by the end of them.
Don't mention it.
Seven stood over Ace. He's breathing slow and heavy.
Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit. After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces. But if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good. Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat.
9 years ago? Then you must be...
Yeah, you finally figured it out, dumbass.
Yeah, I guess he just didn't recognize him, huh? Which, you know, they were never up close face to face, but yeah. But you think they'd show him the prisoner. You know, when his goons captured this detective. You know, did they just throw him in a cell and tell no one? No, you'd think they'd tell the guy in charge, like, hey, we caught this guy. What do you want us to do with him? And you'd think he'd notice, but, you know, oh well. Ace planted his hands on the floor and shook his head. Junpei walked toward him. He stopped and looked down at Ace with pity on his face. Let me actually... let's change that. So let's put in the 3 slot. Well, we know his name now. We could say Kubota. Kubota's bracelet was number 3, I think. Okay. He stopped and looked down at Ace with pity in his face.
Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you?
Well, we know Kubota and Nijisaki, him on purpose, him on accident. But what about Musashido? How did that occur?
Wait, Nijisaki?
He peered at Junpei, genuinely confused.
Oh, right. You don't know yet. All right. We'll just go through them in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into door 5 alone. You killed him without making it look like you killed him. The way I figure it, you had 4 motives. 1. In the nonary game, the number 9 is dangerous. Whoever had the 9 bracelet could join whatever team they wanted. Adding 9 to any number doesn't change the digital route. Which means that number 9 could do whatever they wanted. You wanted to remove that threat as soon as possible. 2. You wanted the number 9 bracelet for yourself, so that you could make use of its power. In fact, you did use it in the murder of Nijisaki.
Oh, wait, let's check that now. No, that doesn't work. Unless... No, I mean, he would have noticed. Nijisaki was wearing a bracelet, right? Because didn't in the flashback, didn't Ace put Nijisaki's hand on the scanner? He told him to. But wait, when Snake was in the coffin, he still had his 2 bracelet. What bracelet did Nijisaki have? Well, no, it's only not... No, okay, so 8 works. Now I'm more confused. Okay, maybe Kubota's bracelet wasn't 3 then.
3. Even if his number hadn't been 9, Kubota was a problem. He knew your past. He knew what had happened 9 years before. You needed to silence him before he told anyone. 4. But last, and perhaps the most disturbing, you used Kubota as a test. You wanted to know how serious this nonary game was. Was it truly life or death, or simply a harmless prank? You convinced him to break the rules so you could see what would happen. That was why you killed Kubota. But he was only the first. Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing parts for the Reds, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, you didn't realize he was Nijisaki. Chiefly because, when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not... That was Nijisaki? Why? How did...
I'll get to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake. Snake was one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid, but his presence made you think. Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me. But if that's true, why isn't he saying anything? Is he keeping quiet because he can't see? Or perhaps he's working with Zero to get revenge on me? Whatever the reason, anyone who knows my past is a threat. Before he tries anything, I need to get rid of him. That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the Red. Verified your own number and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel. Then, when the door opened, you kicked him in. 9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead.
And you mean to say... Snake is still alive?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm as good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man, but I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead. Although, to be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much.
Well, I wouldn't blame you.
Ace's self-derision was frustrating, but Junpei kept his emotions in check and continued.
Last but not least, let's talk about Musashido's death. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me.
I'm sure maybe they'll get to it when they talk about why Ace... Like, Ace just did himself, Lotus, and the 9 bracelet. Maybe when they get to that, they'll be able to clear this confusion up for me.
Do you remember what you said?
Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
I handed it to you, and you left the room. You had been in charge of the Nonary project. Of course you would have known the solution to every puzzle.
Okay, so Clover did say in this area, actually, that the game was exactly like the previous game. So wait. If it was exactly like the previous game, shouldn't Clover, Snake, Santa, June... Well, if Santa and June are in cahoots and are Zero, then that's that. But shouldn't Snake and Clover be aware of all the puzzles too? Since they've solved them all before? Well, Snake was under oath to not reveal anything, because under threat from Zero, so that makes sense. But Clover was working with the group, and she wasn't under that oath. But Snake did tell her not to say anything either, right? He said it would be a good idea not to. I think he did say that. So I guess that makes sense. Okay.
Which would mean that you also knew how to get out of the wheelhouse.
Are you about to tell me that Musashido was actually alive and... What? Did Ace go in there and kill him?
All you had to do was place the watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, you could enter the captain's quarters. Musashido was there. Conveniently placed next to him was an axe that practically begged you to kill him.
Really? What was the reason? Was there something? What was in the captain's quarters that made Ace? We know Ace wanted to get into this specifically. We heard him say that. He said, when he discovered that Junpei had, done the trick with the papers during the voting, we know that he wanted to come here specifically, but why? What was the reason? Did he know Musashido was here, or was there something else in the captain's quarters he wanted?
You picked up that axe and buried the blade deep in the other man's chest. One blow was all it took, and then you returned to the chart room as if nothing had happened.
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
I had no reason to say no, so I followed you to the wheelhouse. When we stepped inside, remember how you slipped your hand into my vest? You pulled out a piece of paper, the one I used to cheat during the vote.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really what you were after. Your true purpose had been to slip the watch into my pocket. It wasn't a very good plan. Had way too many holes, and someone saying the wrong thing could have brought it all down around you. You must have been desperate. But what made you willing to risk it all to do it?
Wait, what? So I guess I don't remember this event particularly well. He took the watch, he left the room, he came back, and he just slipped it into our pocket when he did the... And what, he slipped it in just... And he didn't say anything so that we would forget that he took it in the first place?
Ace.
That was the only thing Junpei hadn't been able to figure out.
Musashido's murder is the only one I don't understand. You obviously did it, but why?
And how did he know Musashido was there? That's my question.
Because of this.
Slowly, Ace reached down and pulled out something out of his pocket. It was a full piece. Oh, to get...
What's with the paper?
To get the thing? To open the lockbox?
Just read it.
Junpei took and opened it.
Let's see.
This was what it said.
Number 1. There are 2 ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the nonary game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past. I have prepared a camera in the captain's quarters. The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world. Simply look into the camera and repent.
Oh, so... I mean, it makes some sense. You know, Snake got some unique stuff when he started, so it makes sense that Ace could get a unique message from Zero. Ah, I see. And that explains why he wanted to go to the captain's quarters. Yes, I understand.
Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confession more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps he will confess with you. The decision is yours. Do as you please, Zero.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I could get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least, that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first. That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning then? Musashido, I mean.
Well, Junpei, he's a psychopathic child killer, essentially. Of course he's going to be fine with that versus, confessing to the entire world. So, you know.
I only knew Musashido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters.
Wow, so he was alive at the
I
time.
asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him. But yes, you are correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was. I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness.
Ace had confessed everything. What energy he had left. What energy he had left. What energy he had left him with the truth, and he sagged on his knees. Although he had confessed, his sins were not forgiven. Junpei felt revulsion for the pathetic man on the floor near his feet, but in among the revulsion was a hint of pity. After all, Ace had not been the only person who murdered those 3 men. Junpei spoke quietly.
Ace, you figured it out, haven't you? You were being manipulated.
Yes, so it would seem. I was little more than a puppet, in many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared. The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake. There was an axe in the captain's quarters. Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. But yes, this was a trap. It was Zero's trap. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I did everything he wanted me to do.
Yeah. By manipulating you, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. Am I right, Santa?
Here we go. Here we go. What's he gonna say? Junpei looked over at Santa. As Junpei spoke, he stood up, his legs still shaky.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know any...
Ain't no point trying to play dumb anymore, Santa. Actually, I guess I should call you Aoi Kurashiki, huh?
Seven's face was sad as he spoke.
My memory came back to me, kid. You're Aoi Kurashiki, no doubt about it. Never thought I'd be back in this room talking to you. But hey, I guess this was all part of your plan, right? After all, the person who planned the nonary game this time around was Zero, and Zero's you.
Looks like you really do have your memories back, huh?
Yeah, how did that happen? How that whole memory thing? Well, never mind. Santa's smile was sarcastic and something else.
Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it then, huh? Yeah, you got me. I'm Aoi Kurashiki. I was one of the kids in the nonary game 9 years ago. I made it out. So did Snake over there. But there's one thing... No, I guess there's 2 things you got wrong. Number 1, I ain't Zero.
What?
So, June then.
Wait, what?
Sure, I was helping Zero out, but I'm really more of an assistant, like a secretary. But an assistant's only an assistant. I didn't come up with all this. All I did was follow Zero's orders.
Then, if you're not Zero, who is?
Come on, Junpei.
Calm down there, Junpei. Didn't I say 2 things?
I mean, Junpei has, out of everyone here, of the whole group, he actually has all the pieces, I think.
You made one more mistake. Junpei, you just said all of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago.
Okay, this is interesting.
That's why this nonary game happened. But that's not it. Revenge isn't the only purpose.
Yeah, especially if June's still alive, that casts a whole... If June's Akane, that casts the revenge... Well, you could still want revenge for just being put in that situation. But still, that changes things.
There's another reason you guys were playing the nonary game. To save someone.
What?
Save someone?
Right. You were brought here to help my sister.
Aha.
To save Akane.
What the hell are you talking about? Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago in this room. I was there. I saw...
So, okay, he just said that. That makes it seem like June's maybe not Zero? Suddenly Seven froze. His eyes went wide as dinner plates as he spun around toward June. He recognizes her? Junpei followed his gaze.
What?
Oh. She pulled her disappearing act again. She was gone. Where June had been, there was nothing.
What the hell? Where is she? Where's Akane Kurashiki?
Seven began to mumble to himself, a strange series of words strung together as if his mind wasn't functioning properly. His face was twisted with effort, as though he were struggling with something they couldn't see. He gritted his teeth and pressed his hands against the sides of his head.
Oh, my head! My head, it feels like it's gonna pop.
Seven! What the hell is going on?
I don't know, I just... Oh! I swear to God, my head feels like it's about to explode!
Don't actually explode, please. From somewhere far away, they all heard a deep, heavy noise. It sounded like a tremendous wheel slowly beginning to turn. Santa seemed to have entered an almost trance-like state. His words were calm and measured.
What was the Nonary Project?
Telepathy?
I'm sure you know already, but I'll tell you one more time. It was a project designed to test a particular phenomenon. And what was that phenomenon? For two organisms to communicate with one another in the absence of physical contact. The morphogenetic field theory. Could human beings use these invisible fields to exchange information?
Well, in this universe, it seems like you can.
That was what this experiment was conducted to determine. There were two separate locations. One was the Gigantic, and the other was a building in Nevada called Building Q. The 9 children trapped in Building Q were faced with numerous puzzles. Copies of identical ones on the Gigantic. They were told to send their answers into the morphic field set and transmit them to their brothers and sisters on the Gigantic.
Yeah, so this goes back to my question from last episode. Why then were Santa and June on the same ship? Or on the ship together?
The transmitters were put in Building Q, and the receivers were put on the Gigantic. Each sibling pair was supposed to be split up.
Here we go.
But there was a mistake. Akane was a transmitter. She should have been in Building Q. However, for some reason, she was placed on the Gigantic with the receivers, like me.
What, was it just a whoopsie? Was it a... what? How did that happen? That seems... okay. Okay.
Perhaps she was mistaken for someone who was supposed to be in Group A.
Mistaken for someone?
Whatever the case, Akane ended up on the Gigantic.
So are you saying there was a girl that looked like her?
I think I've told you enough. You get it, don't you? I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, Junpei.
Where what is going?
Don't play dumb. You know things you shouldn't. Things you couldn't. How did you know Ace had prosopagnosia? How did you know why Ace wanted to kill Kubota and how Nichisaki was killed? Were you surprised when you found out Ace was Hongo? And what about the coffin Snake was trapped in? How the hell did you open it?
Well, that's...
The answer to that is easy. He knew because I knew. Junpei was receiving information that I... What? Junpei was receiving information that I? Who's I? What? That I sent to him through the morphic field set. It's simple, really. How do I know the alternate futures? Then... imagine a river that splits in two, like an upside-down W. The river flows from top to bottom, from a single stream into 2 branches. It only flows in one direction. It can never flow backward. Information is the same way. It moves from the past to the future, but never flows backward. That's why people at the river's source in the past will never know about those downstream in the future. But the people downstream will never know about one another either. Information only flows along the path of the river, but I am different. I can make the morphic field set to plug knowledge from the future. What? I know what happens on either fork of the river, even though the people on either fork know nothing about one another. Now who am I? I am I, the 9th letter of the alphabet. But I'm also 0. No, that's not true. I'm not really zero. Not yet. Perhaps you could say I am less than zero. Zero's my future. In 9 years, I will be zero. 9 years? What? Wait. Why is... Why am I trapped in adventure mode? What's this? Should I... I'm over 50 minutes. Should I stop now? Wait. Where did you go, Juno Economy? Where did you go? Holy cow, there's so much left. What in the world?
Santa!
Why is Clover... Oh shit.
Freeze.
Santa's got the gun. Guess he picked it up when we weren't watching. It looks like he's turned the tables on Ace, though. Wonder how he likes having a gun to his head.
Get up.
Sure isn't about to take the gun off him for a minute, is he? Ace isn't putting up any kind of fight. I mean, I don't think I would either, but he just looks drained. I guess he's going for the door, huh? He doesn't need to verify to go through the door, but...
Hey, what's your plan, Santa? What are you doing?
He can't get through any number of doors with just 2 people. What the hell is he thinking?
Didn't I tell you? I'm Santa Claus. It's time for me to go make a wish come true.
That's it? That's all he's gonna give us? What the hell does that even mean? Shit, they're out. Now the gate's shut. So they didn't go through the 9 door. They went... Don't tell me the incinerator's about to turn on. Looks here, they're all looking at me. At least Seven's headache is gone. He seems to be alright. Well, I guess there's no harm in trying. Let's see if this door still opens.
Damn. Well, it looks like this door isn't opening
No,
anytime soon.
I think I have to stop. I think I'm stopping. Well, I think I said I wanted to know about not just the telepathy thing, but about this seemingly alternate reality thing, and the game called my bluff. The game called my bluff. It said, yeah, we're going there. We're doing alternate futures and alternate realities. And I gotta say, I got nothing. You got me, game. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. And he said, I'm not zero now, but I will become zero 9 years in the future, so that assumes it's one of the kids? One of the kids is sending me this? Is it June? It has to be June, right? What's going on here? June disappeared again. We didn't even see her leave. She just left. She's gone. Disappeared. Seven's got a headache again. What's going on with him? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? Well, okay, gotta stop. Gotta stop now. And then I somehow have to wait to play this again, because I don't have time tonight anymore. Okay. Guess I'll leave you with that. Hope you're all doing well. I've been The Worm. This has been 999. Either in retrospect, this will be a really great moment, or it'll be the moment where things just went off the rails. Just gotta see. I gotta complete the game, then I'll be able to have more complete thoughts, I think. Okay. Hope to see you next time. Have a good one.